Let me welcome our keynote speaker, Rodrigo Duarte. I had lots of luck to work with him in a team, and he was he's kind of person like a caretaker. He's the person that takes care that everyone is all right in the team. Give advice when you ask him for advice. He gives you really, really wise advice. Like uh, you wish you could have asked him a little bit earlier. Rodrigo Duarte is a certified life coach, and he will tell us about what is life coaching and tell us more about himself. He's also a consultant, and he's kind of person that has lots of experience about lots of things. He's going to speak with us today about his lecture or his training session with the title Unleash Your Potential, Live a More Fulfilling Life. How to fulfill my life, to reach my goals, and overcome obstacles in my life. Hi, Rodrigo. It's very nice to have you with us.
How are things going in Cairo over there?
The weather is really nice. Really.
It's great to hear because what I'm at, so that everyone knows, I'm in Antwerp, Belgium. The weather is not so nice, so I like to hear that, where you guys are at. Um, Things are better. So, as Mahmoud said, I'm a certified transformation life coach, and I have a presentation to share with you. But I would like to say I want to make this interactive, so feel free to put your mic on, drop questions, because really, when Mahmoud invited me to do this, my whole purpose was that I can provide you with a speech and even some help you with answers that can serve a purpose to you. So whatever you feel like you have a question or even you want to know more about it, feel free to ask. So I'll share quickly the screen so you can also follow a bit. Just a second. Okay, so I have 7 slides for you. And so the first thing how I would like to start this, it's with a quote that I like very much, and it's from Henry Ford. Henry Ford is an American entrepreneur. He started Ford Motors Company. And so the quote is, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And so I would like to ask you, what for you, once you read this quote, and I'm going to read it again, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. What do you feel when you're reading this quote? Is there someone that would like to share? If not, I can share to you what this means to me.
I think we are what we think, right? If
Well,
I think I can't, then I will not be able to do it. If I think I can, I will be able to do it.
yes. That at first sight it is that, but it has a deeper meaning, this quote, and this is where I hear some things which
Yes.
hopefully means it's good and there's people engaging, but
Yes.
it's a deeper level than that. It's about believing in yourself and also the self-talk that you have with yourself, and so the positive talk, it's very important. I believe I will be able to do this. I believe I will get the interview for this job. I believe that if I'm going to do my best, I can do this. I will not be afraid. Having a positive belief is extremely important in everything that we do. Because why? Subconsciously, it will affect the actions that we take. So if I don't believe I will be able to do the thing that I want to do, it will most likely not happen, or at least it won't have probably the success or the outcome that I'm expecting. So, and why? Because our mind doesn't know what's true and what's not. So it's extremely important that we have a positive self-talk around ourselves, around our actions, so that it also motivates us to achieve everything that we are capable of. I don't know if there were other mentionings, Mahmoud, about this quote. Is there any other
Yes,
that
yeah,
you like?
Fatma al-Zahra actually wanted to make a comment. Please go ahead, Fatma. Fatma al-Zahra.
Yeah, okay. I'd like to thank you for sharing this great quote to us. Actually, I believe this quote for certain time, and from my point of view, I actually think you are very right about it doesn't depend on whether you can or you can't. It doesn't depend on your abilities, but it mainly depends on your thoughts, your mindset, and if even if you can't, with your thoughts and your mindset to develop yourself, you can gain the knowledge, experience, and that enables you or enable you to get what you want.
Thanks. Yes, mindset is everything, right?
Mindset is everything, and I agree with what you said. We can always there's always in almost every situation two ways we can look at things, right? We can look at a glass half empty, or we can look at a glass half full. And the way how we decide to see the world, it shapes our experience, it shapes our happiness, it shapes our engagement, it shapes our motivation. So this is something that you should try to be as aware as possible about the self-talk and the mindset that you have, because it will affect all the areas of your life, as you said. Moving on. And so who am I? Because I think it's also important to mention. Well, here is a little bit my journey, so I could share as well with you. So back in 2018, I studied innovation entrepreneurship at Antwerp, where I'm currently based at. And so I'm very passionate about innovation, which is the area where I'm working now. In 2019, I did some innovation internships, and back in 2021 was when I finally got the opportunity to have my first full-time job. So I had to go through several internships to get my first full-time job. So I totally understand the road that some of you are at. I've been through that process myself as well, and I wanted to share with you that you are capable of achieving the goals that you have, the jobs that you want, if you go for the skills and if you make an effort. And last year, my life took a turn. Besides my consulting job, I decided that I would like to do something that was also more meaningful to me. And so I do like what I do as an open innovation consultant, but I would like to do something more social. And so I came across life coaching for the first time last year, and I thought, wow, this seems something interesting. And so from June to October of 2022, I took a certification and I became a certified transformation life coach by Transformation Academy. It took me a few months, but it gave me the basis so I could progress and start a life coaching practice, which I did in January of 2023. And since then, I've created my website, Your Mindset Hero, and I've done over 25 hours of life coaching sessions. This is something that I'm really passionate about, and that's also a message that I want to share with you. Go for the things that you're passionate about. Don't feel constrained. by whoever tries to put you in a certain direction. You should follow your heart. You should follow the things that you have a natural interest. Life is short, and so you should go for the things that you think you really makes you happy doing. And so one of the points that I would like to ask as well is, what does it mean to live a life true to yourself? And again, I'm happy to hear as well your points, because I want to make this as engaging as possible. But I will tell you the ones that for me uh, makes me think, how do I live a life true to myself? So the first point is, know who you are and embrace yourself. It's very important that we know who we are, and that means knowing our strengths, knowing the things we are interested, knowing the passions that we have, knowing even the weaknesses that we might have, the roads that we want to go, and embracing ourselves as a whole being, and not being ashamed of whatever it is that we see in ourselves. We need to feel comfortable with who we are. Only then we'll be able to follow the path that is there for us to make. And so for me, this is extremely important, that you follow your heart, you follow the things that you're passionate about, you work on your strengths, you work on knowing what are your weaknesses as well, so that you can move forward and you can build a path on that. Now, if you are following the things you're passionate about and you're interesting, you should be doing the second point, which is to do what makes you happy. And I always like to say, when we are children, it seems something so easy, and that we do what makes us happy. We play in the playground, we sleep, we do whatever it is, and we live life in a certain way. And once we get grown up, it seems like we tend to sometimes even complicate things, and we tend to forget about the things that we enjoy doing. We tend to forget the things that bring us joy. We tend to forget about the things that create memories. And so it's extremely important that you are on a constant basis doing what makes you happy, and doing things that you enjoy. And then the third point that I find important is also following your core values and beliefs. So along your way, you'll find people that will support you, but also people that maybe are going to have different core values, different beliefs, different opinions. And so if you believe your core values and beliefs are certain, and these are the ones that you want to have for yourself, even if someone else has a different beliefs, you shouldn't let that affect you, because you know what's important for you, and that's extremely important to me. I don't know if someone else would like to add a couple more, or would like to share something about what is it that for them makes them live a life true to themselves.
Yeah, actually, I want to say something. Like you said, we should follow our heart, and um, we should believe in ourselves, uh, and like even if it's not suitable for the other surrounding and people around us,
Yeah,
we should be who we are, and not just be a follower, you know. Just be true, just be you, and yeah, I think that's it.
yeah. Very well said words. Being yourself, feeling comfortable in your skin, um, being who you are. There's nothing wrong with being different, but the important thing is that you act in the way that you believe is correct for you, and that's extremely important. Someone else that would like to share?
Yeah, I was speaking today with the attendees about the importance of defining my core values and how this helps me a lot to define my priorities. And if I define my priorities, then I can put a good plan and I can avoid any distraction from this plan. So I think, yeah, that's very important. And to define the value, I need not to be tricked about what I wish to be, but just to be honest with myself about what I'm really am, what makes me happy, what's important for me. Is it money, family, work, friends, or some combination of that? So I need to be honest with myself first.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, what areas do you feel like you want to work for the future as well? That's something that I do on my life coaching sessions, and I can explain a bit later. But there are different areas of life, as you were saying, for instance, money, family, relationships, career. And so, in which areas would you like to focus on the stage that you are currently in your life? It's impossible to focus on everything at once, but the saying goes that if you focus on one thing at a time and you do it well and you work hard for it, the universe will give it to you. But you need to be focused on one thing or at least two maximum at a time. You cannot be focused on everything because then your priority gets distracted and then you won't move forward. Anyone else that would like to say something? Or okay. And then the next one, which is extremely important as well, how to overcome limiting beliefs. And so, what are limiting beliefs? If we go back to the beginning of the speech, and when we talk about self-talk, and when we say, I can't, I won't be able to do this, I am not good enough, there's 1,000 people competing with me for the same position, uh, they won't believe that I'll be capable to do this job. These are limiting beliefs. And so the first step is, are you aware of the limiting beliefs that maybe are happening as a roadblock in your life? Are you aware that maybe you have some not so positive thoughts um, going around your head? And just to give you an idea, every day a person can have between 50,000 to 60,000 thoughts. So it's normal that, we have some negative ones once in a while. It's perfectly normal in the sense it's not always positive. Everyone feels sometimes doubts of if they will be able to achieve things, or if they will be able to make things happen. Even the persons that we look towards to, the ones we consider as an example, the ones we see and that are on the top of the mountain, and we're like, wow, they must be completely different than me because they were able to do this and that. No, they are the same persons, but the thing that distinguish is that they didn't allow the negative thoughts to take control of their life. And so the first step, as I was saying, is becoming aware of potential limiting beliefs that you might have running through your head that might be affecting you. Now, once you become aware, it's time to change your mindset. And how can you do this? Well, you can start, for instance, by saying, okay, I know that I sometimes feel I'm not capable of doing a certain task. Okay, I know sometimes those thoughts run through my head. How can I change the way I think, or how can I change this concept to something more positive? I'll give you an example. Instead of saying, I won't be able to do this, or there will be lots of competition for this job that I'm applying, or the interview probably will not go my way. You can say somewhere along the lines of, I will do my best. And if that doesn't work out, next time I will try again. Or you can say, like, I will give my best and I will learn from it. And next time I will just do better. You see the difference from mindset, from being not so positive to giving hopes when it comes to the mindset changing. This is extremely important because this will give you that push that you need to believe in yourself. And again, your mind doesn't know what's true and what's not. So if you tell yourself you're not capable, like we've mentioned in the beginning, most likely it will be hard for you to achieve that. So you really need to change the negative mindsets that you have in order to progress and positively have successful impact. And then, of course, taking growth oriented actions based on the mindset change. If you know what you need to do, then you need to change that mindset and then pursue the actions that you should be pursuing with a more positive mindset. And so for me, this is also extremely important. And when I became a certified transformation life coach, I really saw this difference in my life, and I try to apply it where if I'm doing something that makes me nervous or I think it's going to be a challenge, I'll just say to myself, I'll give my best, and if that's not good enough, next time will be better. Is there someone that would like to share if they felt like something like this has happened to them before, if they feel like sometimes their negative mindset might impact uh, the actions that they're about to take or to do?
Yeah, I want to say a few points actually.
Sure.
First one, we should work on our disadvantages and flaws and turn them into strength points. And the other thing, we study in neuropsychology.
Yeah.
It's a little trick. We do. Um, we hold on our breath when we think about negative thoughts, and the brain starts to do only one operation. It's either to make you breathe normally or to stop the negative thinking, negative thoughts. So if we practice um, uh, this thing and repeat it,
Yeah.
it will make conditional conjugation like a link between the mind and the negative thoughts that whenever we negative thoughts cross our minds, um, we like push them away by doing this. Or there is another technique like they do in the movies also. They take uh, breath in and out,
Yeah.
you know.
Boxing breathing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Is there someone else that would like to share?
Yeah, for those that just entered right now, we have uh, Mr. Rodrigo Duarte, and he is a certified life coach. And we reached the point speaking about becoming aware of your limiting beliefs. What do you think is limiting you from moving forward and understanding your weak points so that like that you can change your mindset? So if you can comment about that, that would be great from the audience.
Absolutely. I'm happy to hear more ideas if you have. Another suggestion I have, and I tell my clients this, is write down a list of things that you have achieved in your life and they mean something to you. And so, whenever you feel like you're having these negative thoughts, take that list off your drawer, look at it, and say to yourself, look at how much I was able to achieve so far. Look at all of the mountains I was able to climb. I'm capable of climbing as well this one. So having as well a list of things that uh, you are proud of, that you have achieved, it also helps bring that positive feeling that you'll be able to accomplish the challenge that you're currently facing.
Yeah. I usually do this in when I have hard times. Thank you, Rodrigo, mentioning that. But I try to combine it with being thankful.
Yeah,
So one day I woke up and I asked myself, what am I thankful for? And it really transformed my way of thinking completely. Like we have in our culture in Egypt, we say Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah means thank God.
yeah,
Thank God, not just like we passed something bad. We say thank God for bad and good. So I think it really helps. What do you think about that? Feeling gratefulness?
absolutely. And that's a point I was going to mention later. Knowing the things that we are grateful for in our life is extremely important. And checking that on, it's not a task you should be doing daily, but let's say whenever you feel like you don't know the things that you are grateful, it means it's time to look and do some introspection with what's happening in your life to know the things that you are grateful for to have, because those are also things that bring us joy and bring a positive feeling to our minds and to our heart. It fill us up, and that's what we need to push through whenever we're faced with a negative feeling.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Someone else that would like to share something, or then going to the third point, which is how can you create your own happiness? And for me, this is one of the most important ones. It starts with happiness comes from within. And this is a concept that sometimes it takes a bit of time for people to digest. But I want you to truly believe that happiness, it's a decision. So it's a decision that you can take. You can decide to be happy with your life. Even if things are not going according to the plan, even if you feel things are not going the way you want it to go, happiness, it's a way of thinking, and it's a way how you can move forward. You can always find happiness in all the things that you have in your life. You just need to search them through. So that's the first thing that I would like to tell. And so in order for happiness to come from within, it's important to know that I, Rodrigo, control my thoughts, my emotions, and everything that's within me, my brain, my body. I cannot control what's happening on the outside world. I cannot control what Mahmoud is going to say next. I cannot control what's happening on the other side of the world. I can only control the things that are within me. And that's a very important concept to digest. Once you um, really understand it and feel it, then you can start being happy on the small things that you do with your life. The small things starts to be much more appreciated. The things that you enjoy doing, the things you do for others. So for me, that's extremely important. Then, something we sometimes tend to overlook, but having a good circle group of people where that we surround ourselves with. And so it's extremely important that our surroundings, um, they help us bring us up, and or at least they are on the same wavelength as we are. If you tell them you are going to do something, they support you, they are there for you. And it's not always going to be like this, but that's when you need to think, okay, are these people supporting me on the way that I'm going or not? And if not, should I then continue to let them be in my life or not? And what Mahmoud said very well a few minutes ago, practice being grateful, extremely important, the things that we are grateful for, but not to forget compassionate with ourselves. And what does it mean to be compassionate with ourselves? It means to be not a perfectionist. It means to allow ourselves to fail. It means to allow ourselves to try a new thing and not be good at it first. It means to go for what we want, even if we feel uh, there's a very limited chance of success, but we are going to try. So being compassionate with ourselves is also extremely important. It's really a tool that everyone should have, or at least try to develop, because it will allow you to see life in a different form once you start to be more compassionate with yourself. You won't start to criticize yourself so much. And lastly, what for me it's also important is to give our best. In everything that we do in life, we give our best. Why? Because what's the whole point of existing if not giving our best in whatever we do? Uh, I've I've also say this to people sometimes. If you're doing your best and it didn't work out in the end, then you have nothing to regret for. You have nothing to worry about. You gave your best. You gave your best on that interview. You gave your best when you applied to that job. You gave your best in that situation. The problem is, once we know that we're not giving our best, how do we deal with that? Because we know that we're not giving our best while we should be giving our best. And so this is also another point that I wanted to share with you. I don't know if any of you has any comments about this. Okay, I'll just continue. I didn't know if someone else had any questions. I hope you're still hearing me.
We are hearing you.
Great. One point that I find it extremely important, and I use it as a metaphor whenever I do coaching sessions with clients, is to tell them to surf the positive waves. Now, what does this mean? Let's say, and this kind of works as a metaphor. Let's say that you are a surfer and you have a big wave coming up. And this big wave represents a moment of joy in your life. You want to catch the wave. You know that the wave is coming. And once you catch the wave, you want to ride the wave as much as possible. Why? Because you don't know when another positive wave will come. And so the metaphor means that look for the positive things. And whenever the positive things happens, or whenever you have a joyful moment during the day, whenever you feel happy for whatever reason, whenever someone tells you something that makes you happy, whenever someone shares with you something, whenever you achieve something that you were expecting, Whenever you have a reason to smile, extend that as much as possible. Surf that wave as much as possible. Why? Because you don't know when the next one will come. But also, we shouldn't let the negative things take control, as we mentioned before. So, whenever something positive comes, extend it as much as possible and always be on the lookout for the positive wave and surf it for as much time as you can. So, this was something that I wanted to share with you guys because I find it also nice uh, to try to extend these positive, joyful moments that we have in our lives that makes you happy and puts a smile. And I can share from my own experience what I do is when I come home, I have a look at what did my day go, and the things that are positive, I can relive a little bit in my mind and say, wow, that was really nice. I did not expect that to happen today. And relive those things because those are the ones that give you strength and force to push through when the negative ones come. Is there someone that would like to share something?
No, I just would like to pay attention, especially for those that entered a few minutes ago, that Mr. Rodrigo Duarte is a certified life coach, and he was so generous that he offered all attendees of this event free consultation, free one-on-one session with him. That you sit with him. How long does the session take, Rodrigo?
1 hour, usually 1 hour.
Yeah, that you sit with him about 1 hour and discuss with him different challenges and plan for your career and for your life. You can book your session with Rodrigo Duarte on the link that I put now in the chat. So please, if you go to the chat, you will find the link about his website, Your Mindset Hero. So www.yourmindsethero.com. You can go there and book a session, and it's free of charge.
Absolutely.
This is just my comment. And he's offering it not only today, but every day until the end of of the uh, the event on 14th of March. Please go
Absolutely.
ahead. Sorry for the interrupt.
And as Mahmoud was saying, this was the point that I was going to come. If you would like to discuss more privately about the challenges and roadblocks that you're facing, things that you think you would like to improve in your life, but you're having challenge to improve, you feel free to book a session on my website. It's for free. You won't have to pay anything. I think Mahmoud is a good friend of mine, and I'm very happy to contribute to this event. And if I get a chance to help any of you, that also brings me a lot of fulfillment. So don't be shy. Email me, book on our website, and I will happily do a session with you. Even if you don't book anything, I hope that with this session today, hopefully I bring you some ideas of tools that you can use or different ways on how you can see a problem or a challenge, and that I was able to maybe impact you positively on your future life, your future career, and bring you some new things that you can use um, to build yourself. So this is kind of the end of my slides, but I'm still here to answer all the questions that you might have about whether it's my career, whether it's about the coaching, whether it is about things that you like to ask. I'm open to all types of questions.
Yes. Thank you very much, Rodrigo. And thank you also, as I said at the beginning, when I was working with Rodrigo, uh, he's really good listener. That's what makes Rodrigo really good at what he does. And I mean by being good listener that he's so have so empathy and so concentration and curiosity about understanding what you're telling him. And then he doesn't directly give you his opinion, but he asks you really tough questions that you think about it maybe for 5 or 6 days. And he asks really the right questions that make you think and come up with wonderful ideas. And this is what I really love about Rodrigo. So I wanted to tell you also thank you about that. You have helped me before, and you're helping me and us now. Thank you.
Absolutely. And I want to wish all of you a good continuation of the event. I know there are some very interesting sessions coming up on the next days, and I hope you make the most out of it.
Oh, thank you very much. Is there any questions anyone would like to ask Rodrigo about something?
Actually, I'd like to thank Mr. Rodrigo and Dr. Mahmoud for this valuable session, for Mr. Rodrigo for this valuable session, and Dr. Mahmoud for organizing it. Because as in our life, the one usually passes through or can goes through some difficult situations from time to time, and this session was very or is very valuable to me. It was like a small reminder about being grateful and being compassionate toward ourselves, especially that I'm not seeking to be a perfectionist, but the one usually forgets about his or her mindset from time to time, and forget how to be compassionate with herself, or our to be with our compassionate with ourselves. So it was like a great small reminder, like from Allah, represented by this session. So I'd like to thank you very much about your effort and your time to talk about these important points with us.
Yeah.
The pleasure
Thank
was all mine, Fatma. Yeah.
So it seems that loving the world and loving others starts from having love towards ourselves first, right?
Yeah.
Even all religion speaks about love, about how the relation of love between the person and God in all religions. And I think it's important that we apply more love in our life, not only the romantic love, but also the compassion and the empathy towards other. Thanks a lot, Rodrigo. It's always pleasure to speak with you and meet
Same.
you. Mutwakil has a question.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for the opportunity. And thank you for the nice session, Dr. Mahmoud and Rodrigo. My question is how to make sure that we surrounded ourselves with the right people. Like, is it a matter of luck or a matter of that we, in our work environment or our friends, or how we make sure?
Well, that's a very good question. Huh? How do we surround ourselves?
Thank you very much.
Sure. And I was going to say, how do we surround ourselves with the right people? Well, it starts with first, who are the right people? And I go back to the basis. These are people that we enjoy spending time, people that are happy whenever we achieve something as well. So I'll give you an example. If you go to one of your friends and you tell them that you pass a test, an exam, and they become happy as well for you, that's a good sign. But if they are just like, okay, you passed the exam, so what? Or if they don't show you support or show you compassion for the things that you're facing with in your life, is this someone that you want to have next to you, for instance? So that would be the way I would say how to know who are the right people or not. Obviously, and this is also as 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 you grow older, people come and go, and I think this is something that everyone will feel in their lives. Sometimes there will be people that have a more important role in your life at one stage, and uh, other people that have a less important, but then somewhat they come back and pick a new role in your life. What you need to make sure is that you feel supported in the circle that you are, and you feel like you're capable of achieving the things, and the people around you, they will be there in case you have a problem, difficulty. If you don't have that feeling, that probably means that you're not hanging out with the right people, I would say. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, totally. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I have another question.
Sure.
I'm social entrepreneurs. I started coding school before here in Belgium, in Hacker Future Belgium. But I
Yeah,
always feel myself as introvert.
yeah,
Like I start the company, everything, but I always rather to sit in the backseat, not take the initiative sometimes or lead. Is it because something in my mindset? Yeah, like for instance, I see myself always as CTO, as someone with technology. I don't
yeah.
see myself as CEO, someone talk with the audience. So is it because of my mindset or because of my skills? I just want to understand.
Well, if I can and feel, if you don't feel comfortable to answer, that's perfectly fine. But if I can put the question back to you, what is it
Yeah,
that once you are based or are faced with the possibility of, for instance, having to pitch or having to talk with other people about it, what is it that you
yeah.
feel?
When it comes to pitch the idea, when it comes to sell the product, like I have the idea, I have about building great startups or any idea, but then when it comes to pitch it or do some communication, then I sit back and I feel like maybe I'm not good enough.
So what I'm hearing back, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is exactly the last aspect that you mentioned. There might be a limiting belief
Yeah,
happening in your head that's
yeah,
stopping you from pursuing this. That,
yeah,
and if I understand correctly, this is something that you would like to do. Am I right? Or
yeah. You're right. You're right. Yeah, yeah,
so?
If
Yeah.
you
Go.
allow me, Rodrigo, to make just a very small comment about that, I personally believe that there is nothing wrong about being introvert, and there is no one 100% introvert. And I'm sharing in the chat a book that I really love so much, Quiet. Quiet, the power of introverts in a world that cannot stop talking. This book will show you a lawyer that she is a very introvert, but she received certain training to overcome the barriers that Mutawakkil was speaking about, like life coaching and presentation skills and so on. And now she just like one of the big sharks in Silicon Valley, I think.
wow.
So
Thank you, Dr. Mahmoud.
you're welcome.
Yeah, I hope this won't stop us for our new adventure together.
Yeah. The 42, the answer of everything.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I'm very much looking forward to that.
Yeah,
And Mahmoud is exactly right, huh? So there's nothing wrong with being an introvert. And again, it's about embracing yourself and knowing yourself and feeling comfortable in your skin. That's the first thing you should feel. Now, it's also about, if this is something that you would like to work on, how can you change the mindset? And going back to the slides, it's about identifying when this limiting belief might be coming and change it for something more positive, a positive affirmation, or a more positive mindset that can help you do the action that you want to do.
Yeah, like today also, Dr. Mahmoud, he had a great session. Also talk about how important English and communication in your career hunt. And to be honest, sometimes when I'm very confident, I speak very fluently, clear message. My communication skills is good. When I'm nervous or I feel I'm not in, then I try to, yeah, with my communication won't be clear to the other side. So I'm trying to working on that. I already booked a session with you. Thank you
Great.
so much. Thank you, Dr. Mahmoud.
Thank you.
And yeah, I hope I explain myself a little bit and share my point.
Yeah. And never forget, be compassionate with yourselves, guys. Rome wasn't built in a day, so it's a work in progress. Everything that we do in our lives, it's a work in progress. And so to never feel like as long as you're moving one step closer, it means you're moving and you're not stuck, which is important.
Yeah. Slow and steady win the race. And now Yasmin Tariq want to ask something. Please tell us, Yasmin.
I just want to agree with Mutawakkil. I have the same problem. I think it also refers to the social phobia. I think we all have a little bit of that because of the education we had. Is we have always listened and never had that chance to interact and um, be able to interact and share with the instructor. We have always just listened. Um, so I think we just all need a little practice and interaction with people, and this social phobia will get less by time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think also Yasmin is referring to she's referring to the Oriental or Eastern culture in which maybe you tell the young what they have to do, and maybe not all families are like that. My family was not like that. They were very democratic, and our raising up was based on democracy and expressing your opinion. But many other families or schools, it's based on I'm right, you're wrong. I'm telling you what's the right thing to do, and you just have to follow. And the other thing is, I think the shyness of coming out with an idea or an opinion that maybe people will think is bad or wrong or stupid. So all these beliefs that you spoke about, I think that we need to overcome it, right?
Absolutely. And always think about this, and I cannot say this enough. I am in control of my thoughts, my feelings, and myself. I cannot control what anyone else thinks outside of me. I can control what they say, I can control my actions, but I cannot control what's happening on the outside world. I cannot control how people are going to react to what I say. So I can only do my best. And if that doesn't work out, then next time I will do better. And that's the type of contract you can make with yourself, I would say.
We have Fatma Al Zahra. You have a question, Fatma. Please go ahead.
Actually, I have an opinion more than a question. I can relate to
Please go
what
ahead. Yeah,
Yasmin
sure.
and Yeah, I can relate to what Yasmin and Mutawakkil have said. From time to time, I encounter this problem of being anxious. I encounter a problem in the language, the whole language capability, not only with English or something like that. I don't know, maybe like Dr. Mahmoud has mentioned, this is a very important point. And yeah, I think many of us encounter this mainly, maybe if not because of the family, maybe for the school or the education environment. And that's exactly what I was pointing previously about having the confidence about learning new the linguistics or learning new languages. I think we have a very important a problem in this aspect in Egypt here.
I'd like to make a proposition, Rodrigo.
True.
I would like to invite you in the near future to Egypt, that we on the ground we make training for communication skills. Communication skills on, on a deep scale, like how to communicate, how to control your feeling in different in difficult situations, emotional intelligence, and mixing that with making a presentation and communicating with the audience. So think about it, and maybe in the near future we can do something on the ground together, and we can let the students go, or the applicants, they go to the stage and they make a presentation, and we tell them how to do it much better. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds a very interesting idea, Mahmoud, I think. And
Yeah.
again,
It needs a good plan.
yeah, it's a good plan, and I would be more than happy, in the sense like I enjoy supporting people, as I said, and communication, as Fatma was saying, it's crucial, right? The communication is the way how we express ourselves to the world.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that's something that we always need to make sure. Are we communicating well enough? Are we communicating? Are we saying the things we want to say? Are we expressing ourselves the best way we should be expressing? But
Yeah.
as I've mentioned, it's always a work in progress, guys. And that's the point that I also want you to take. Don't feel discouraged by limitations that you might be facing. It's step by step that things change. If you do step by step, in 3 months, it will be a huge improvement. In 6 months, it will be an even more improvement. So don't feel discouraged if you find some roadblocks, if you find some challenges in whatever you want to achieve.
Great. Great. I will be very much looking forward to planning with you the time you will be my guest. I will take care of the airplane, the hotel, and everything. And you just, we need to plan what's the best time to do it in the year, to make such a customized course for communication and for overcoming the obstacles in your life.
So yeah,
I can't thank you enough. I learned a lot today. Enjoyed very much your positive wave and positive vibes you are giving to us.
thank you.
It's always great to listen to you. Thank you very much, Rodrigo, for coming.
My
And
pleasure.
hopefully, we see you more and more in the coming days.
Absolutely.
Yes, we actually have the the one-on-one sessions, so anyone can book the one-on-one session with you on the website yourmindsethero.com.
Absolutely. I dropped both the email and my website on the chat, so feel free to book. I hope you took something positive out of this session, and I want to wish you all a nice evening. I believe it's 11 in Cairo at the moment, if I'm correct, Mahmoud, so
Yeah.
probably it's quite late over there. Take some
Yes, yeah.
rest. And I hope you enjoyed the rest of the event, guys.